Artie welcomes in his friends Rich and Arthur, as well as their company that's helping returning vets, Momentum Solar. For more info, please go to their website, momentumsolar.com.
You baby gorilla.
That's my white mama.
You baby gorilla.
That's my white mama.
I'm here with special guests. Doesn't mean retarded. The special guests. These guys are very intelligent, actually. Rich Bodner is a guy who owned a club.
You can call me Bodmer. It's okay.
What's your name?
Bodmer. Bodmer. Let's start there.
I just saw you rich. I don't know.
Right, you've known me 30 years.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay, Arthur.
I just learned my uncle's last name. He married out. So, Rich, was it Bodmer? Bodmer. I would have bet $100,000 with Bodner.
I'll take that. Let's go.
So, Rich Bodmer, I call him the Bod.
There we go.
Was that a nickname for you, the Bod?
Yeah, it was. Bods.
It should have been if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But Rich owned a club in Plainfield, New Jersey. You heard right.
In beautiful downtown.
Terrible ghetto. Yeah, the worst. I mean, there was a type of area. Plainfield's a type of town where dogs walk around afraid they're going to step in human shit.
Oh, God.
There we go. Nice.
That'll do it.
There's an opening.
Very crooked police department.
But where is Mr. McGrath?
Well, everybody in every Stern fan, a lot of them know about the bad cop. I used to tell stories about Danny because I felt his only chance in life was to get a book deal. So I used to call him the bad cop.
That's who you were with last night.
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
The bad cop. Great guy.
McGrath.
Loyal to me, but a crazy Irishman. One of those Irish guys who, like when we were in high school, him and his brother were getting vicious fights, like vicious fist fights. And he called his brother the Goon. And when we were about 13 years old, his brother, a bad drug addict, he's dead now. But great guy. He would take us to downtown Newark, and we were like 13, and he would say to us, assholes. They all have the same cadence, the McGraths. I don't know where they got this from. He's the only family who talks like this. Asshole.
And he still says it that way.
Yeah, no, that's how he talks. Asshole. Mr. Dicklick. And he was a cop like that. So his older brother Alfie would have me, this other kid Shecky I knew, and Danny in the back of this big Buick Electra, whatever the fuck it was. And he bought it for like $300. And we'd go to downtown Newark, and whenever we see a group of people who might be a different color than us, they would say to us, lean out the window and go like this, hit your two fists together, and that means that you want hits, like Quaaludes or something like that. And it looked like the New York Knicks attacked the car. And oh my God. It looked like the 78 Knicks. Oh my God. Minus the butcher.
Now, does your elevator go right to hell?
What the hell? I was doing my older brother, my buddy's older brother, a favor. He was like my uncle or something. And well, I mean, he's dead now. He used to say derogatory names about black people.
If I actually went to a blind person and went like that, they'd know.
No, you gotta know. They don't know. You gotta go like this, and they see you, and they all have hits on them. And then a transaction would take place. Like we'd be in a red light, and you're like, okay, this, that, the other. And Alfie, the older brother of Danny, would ask how their brother's doing. Like, what's going on here? It's like Thanksgiving reunion or something. And they were always fine. They were always cool. But, Alfie was a bit of a racist. I'm not going to lie to you. And he would say, when you see like about 5 shines on the corner, go like that.
Oh, God.
And listen, I wasn't saying it. Matter of fact, I almost got out of the car. I said, I'm disgusted. If you're listening out there, the head of show business. So I was against that part. But then we get Hitchell. That's the type of guy he was. And him and Danny would come to my house. He lived up the block from me, covered in blood and like grass. Alfie would shove grass in his ear. I'm like, what happened? He goes, I got in a fight with the Goon. Can I stay here? I'm like, yeah, go ahead for a while. And then his mother would call up with the middle name thing. Artie, it's Mrs. McGrath. Is Daniel Patrick there?
He did say when he gets in trouble, Daniel Patrick.
Yeah, it's always
Daniel Patrick. The first time I met Dan was in the 6th grade. He moved to Union from Irvington, and 3 kids were giving him a wedgie, and the underwear would not break. The poor kid, I felt so bad for him. They hung him up on a locker, and the underwear wasn't breaking. He was just dangling there. It's like an after-school special. And I walked out, and I met Mrs. McGrath. She goes, excuse me, do you know my son, Daniel McGrath? I'm like, yeah. She goes, is he going to come out soon? I said, give it about 3 minutes. And the underwear broke eventually. But I just felt he was always a fighter, Dan. He was always everybody against him, and I liked that underdog type of thing. We'd get Saturday detention, and we had to go, and his hair would freeze, and I'd have to take him in on my $300 Matador, and his hair, he'd go right out of the shower, and his hair was frozen. He looked like Snow Miser on the on the after-school special for Christmas. So we'd always be late, and they'd yell out our name, like 300 kids in a cafeteria, and we would stick our head in the door and just go, here, and it worked. They didn't know where we were, and we went right to the seat. One day, there's this black kid, Scott Russell. He's dead now. And he went in the Army. I don't think it worked out for him. And he sat right in front of me, but like 50 feet behind me. And Danny is right here. So him and Dan hated each other. As soon as Dan sat down, Scott threw a pretzel with mustard on it. The aim the kid had was unbelievable. He hit Dan right in the face, and it went across him. And it had he looked like an Apache with war paint. A streak of mustard just went. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I can't stop laughing out loud. So, and Scott Russell, the kid's going, yeah, motherfucker. So I'm laughing, and then Dan looks at me and goes, fucking Shine hit me with a pretzel. Oh, God. I'm like, Dan, calm down. Just calm down. We'll get at it. It's 4 hours we got to sit there. So he begins to, we had a notebook. We had to talk about our day or something. And he slowly takes notebook paper out of it, and he puts it in his mouth. He made the biggest spitball I've ever seen in my life with the little spit, disgusting Irish spit. And Scott Russell goes to the bathroom. He's 4 feet from us. Dan gets up and, like Dwight fucking Gooden when he was 19, throws the spitball at Russell's head. You heard it attached to his neck. Dan got thrown out. So did Scott. I have to do 4 hours. We lost all of our breaks because he threw that fucking spitball. I go outside. I'm his only ride home, and I said, Dan, we lost all our breaks. He goes, Lang, I give a shit. I'm gonna get kicked out of fucking school. My old man's gonna kick my fucking ass. I got no money. I got no future. I give a fuck if you and 30 spooks lost your fucking break.
Oh my God.
Jesus. Oh my God, it was like poetry. Yeah. And he said it too loud, of course, and then Anthony Russell, Scott's cousin, wanted to fight Dan. And that happened the next Saturday detention. Danny fought anybody. I took him for an ice cream, and he got suspended from school. But then he got back into school, and I saw him about a week before he was supposed to matriculate, is that the word, for Union County College. I said, you going to county college? He goes, it depends on if the Giants cover. He had to pay for his own tuition, and it was $400. And I think you saw him last night, right, Art?
Yeah,
the Giants didn't cover. The Giants, yeah, if you see him, the Giants didn't cover. It was a blowout. And he became a cop at Plainfield. So that was a decade of fun for the Plainfield Police Department. But during that time, we met Rich. And Rich owned, it was called the Clubhouse. One of the best clubs you'll ever go to in your life. I mean, one of the best, so much fucking fun. All nooks and crannies. And what happened? You said I was drunk in the girls' room or something?
That's how I discovered you.
What happened?
Everybody else says they found you. I discovered you.
Yeah, what happened?
No, you didn't.
When I was drunk, I was passed out.
No, you weren't actually passed out.
What did I do?
Well, the first night I met you, you were upstairs. You had gotten there at about 8:30, and by 9 o'clock, they called me upstairs because, like, literally, there wasn't even a person in the place, and the bouncer goes, "We got trouble on the second floor." And I'm like,
well, that's terrible.
I'm like, what do you mean we got trouble on the second floor?
I was fighting myself.
No, they were like, Rich, you better come up and take care of this.
What did they say? What did they say I was doing?
Well, I had assigned a bartender. Of the two that were there, one was yours, and so you got there at 8:30.
I'm like 23 at the time, 24.
And like before 9 o'clock, the bouncer's like, "No, they really need you upstairs." So I'm like, "All right." So I go upstairs, and I'm like, I talk to the girl bartender. I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Oh, he's pretty bad off. You better go over there." I'm like,
it was $18 a shot.
I go, what's up? He says, "Well, I go, what's he drinking?" He's like, "Oh, he's Absolute on the rocks. and a Cuervo shot.
That was my drink. You know?
That was your drink. That's not a drink. They were separate drinks.
Right.
And I go,
You chase vodka
So I
with
said-
Cuervo.
My liver. They x-rayed
Yeah.
my liver on it. It was wearing a sombrero.
but what was great was I said there, I go, well, how many drinks did he have? Well, he's had 5 rounds. I'm like, he's been here 30 minutes.
That's 10 drinks.
That's like
He owes you $800.
no, your money was no good at our
Well,
place.
it was fun.
It's
it was
good.
a fun
it's good
time.
now. Your money's good now.
It was before political correctness.
Oh yeah,
you
well,
know.
it's
And we just had a blast there. And
Yeah.
the cops were in on the deal. Now, how much did you bribe the police department? we could talk now.
Now we get.
Well, what was Dan's take?
Well, look, you know what we did? We only charged the police $2 a drink.
Right, okay.
Right. So they love coming there.
So the money you made on the police was $1.99 a drink. That is the markup on booze, man. Forget it. That's the best, right?
Well, you tell them just water the cops' drinks. they won't know the difference. They're fucked up already.
Here was that police department. There could have been a movie about the Plainfield cops back then. Danny was a runner for a bookie while he was a cop, and I would lose all this money. He would come to my house in his squad car, in uniform, with that little mic right here, you know, and you'd hear like 211 in progress, and he would turn the mic down. Go, all right, you lost on the Panthers. I'm like, a retarded internal affairs guy could catch you. A retarded. He turned down a bank robbery call to tell me I lost on the Panthers.
Look, obviously there was big drug cartel in the
Oh,
town
of
at that,
course,
right?
yeah.
So they bring in this.
It's called the Plainfield Police
There we
Department.
go. So they brought in the state police, the county police, and then Plainfield police, and they set up in my condo. Do you know this?
No,
You didn't know this?
you're telling me now.
So I come home one night. It was like a Saturday night, and it was snowing, and it was about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I get home and I walk in. I'm like, what the hell's all that noise down in my basement? I go down. There's like 6 cops down there. They got like 10 pizzas and they're playing poker, right? And McGrath is one of them, and he's supposed to be walking the patrol around town. Right?
Walking
All of
the
a sudden,
patrol.
you hear like on the mic. 1041, shots fired. and I swear to God.
Shots taken.
I swear to God, McGrath didn't move it. He just continued to play
He
his
didn't
cards.
care, right?
And about 5 minutes later, he's like, "No, I'm over here. It's all clear."
Everything's on tape.
I swear to God, he
His,
never moved. I'm all in.
He's a cop for 1 month at this point, I think. 1 month.
No, he's been a cop
And
for a
he
while.
pulls over a chick on 22, and she's a
all right.
good-looking girl. And he says to her, let me ask you something, honey. What do you do for a living? And she goes, I'm a secretary. Where do you work? Like, how far from your house? He goes, like, 15 miles. He goes, okay, here's the deal. You can either walk to work for the next 6 months, or you could take care of the kid. He pointed to his dick, of course. The kid being his dick. And I don't know. I think she reported him. Yeah.
He's always getting reported.
Yeah. He came over to my house with his older sister's Chevette.
Shit.
And he had been a cop for about a month. I had $200 to my name. He goes, go get it, Lang. It was a Tuesday afternoon. We're going to Atlantic City. We were doing 110 miles an hour. Like, not only drinking while we're driving, we're like mixing martinis out the window. Shaking. Lines of coke on the dashboard, and the car's shaking. It's a Chevette. We got pulled over 15 times. McGrath got his badge and went, I'm late for a pay job. The guy goes, be careful. We had, I think he had $1,000, $1,200 to our name, and we said, okay, we got to keep the $5 to tip the parking guy. We put $5 in the glove compartment. We were back for the 5 in an hour. We were broke. McGrath had a credit card. He had just got a credit card.
Was it his?
Yeah, he finally got a credit card because I think his almost got busted for Coke credit card. Like it was on the line on the outside. God. It didn't work at the fucking ATM.
it was all coded.
Yeah, too much cocaine on the card. So he goes, we got to stay here, Lang. I go, all right. So he goes and he goes, let's go to a motel. So we go to those seedy motels, like on the outskirts of Atlantic City. I had a shit. I said, get the room. Give me the key. I got to go take a shit. I go up there. I shit in the room, and it was like, forget it. I don't know. It was like Chernobyl. And I hear McGrath walk in, and he's talking to somebody. I'm like, who the fuck is he talking to? I walk outside, he's talking like this 18-year-old mulatto fucking whore that he got. I said, where'd you get the money for the whore? He goes, I had some whore money. I said, what? I have some whore money. And it stinks. The room stinks like Staten Island. So she's making a face, and like she's driving through Secaucus, and he leaves. And that's the pizza.
That's the pizza.
Yeah. So no other show in the world gets interrupted for the pizza. He leaves, and so the girl goes, your friend wants me to give you a blowjob. I'm like, that's the best idea he's ever had in his life. So I came in like 4 seconds. She looked like Jasmine Guy or something. I said I won the mulatto. I made that joke. Nothing happened. She got mad at me. So I leave. After 4 seconds, she blows me, and I leave, and McGrath goes, now it's my turn. I'm like, it's freezing out, first of all. So I'm waiting outside. There's like we're on an outside motel. I'm on the terrace. It's 2 degrees. Wind's whipping up. He's in there for an hour. I'm like, you marrying this girl? What are you doing? I hear like she's getting thrown up against the wall. I think it's like S&M shit's going on. She walked out. Her hair was all messed up. And I said, you look better after me, doll. I wanted to marry her. I wonder what she's doing right now. I think she became a drug mule. And my version of serendipity is if I ever did coke, that she shot out at a Best Western in the Bronx at gunpoint. I think that's my serendipity. I want to do a movie about it. I snort a lot. I go, that was in your ass.
Oh, God.
I pitched that a couple times. I don't like it over at MGM.
They
That's
weren't
serendipity too.
Isn't Danny supposed to be here?
Yeah, McGrath's supposed to. Look.
Well, he's never where he's supposed to be. You should have told him not to be here.
Is there a statute of limitations for these police officers?
No, I don't think. No, he got the kibosh.
They asked him to leave.
They threw him out. No fucking. I'm telling the tame stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you may want to say hey to Arthur over here.
All right, well, calm down. This is how I do my show.
It's a process.
It's a process.
We're gonna cut all you guys laughing at this stuff, so you get fired. Just you, Rich.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, I'm sorry. Is this too offensive?
No.
It is? I
No.
think these guys are worried.
No.
We'll cut that out.
Why is he crying over here? I don't know.
Well, again, you introduce him.
Well, Arthur, introduce yourself. Arthur is one of the 30 under 30.
Right.
Forbes.
Which is a millionaire, you mean?
What's that?
A millionaire?
Yeah, I guess that's what that means.
That's
What's that
cool.
mean?
I love
I don't know.
stories
I'll
like
let
that.
him tell you.
I love stories like that.
Go ahead, Arthur. Tell your story. Do the first name.
Well, he does a lot of charity work, which is why
Yeah,
we're here.
well, that's
It's
exactly why
it's a cause that I've been involved with. I went over to Afghanistan to stand up for the troops, and USO tour that they let me run. It was me and David Tell and Jimmy Florentine and Baba Booey and Nick DiPaolo, and we did stand up for those guys. And it's that's 2008, man. I was there for 10 days. I needed a shrink. It's rough shit over there. And you guys are involved with doing charity for people coming home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, both. Really, we're really big right now.
That's great.
Yeah, with the USO, first of all, and we appreciate. First of all, my name is Arthur.
Arthur.
They called me Artie for like 25 years, and all of a sudden in business.
You have a respectable career.
They matured.
I kept Artie.
He's grown up. Look at him.
They
Look
called
at
me
how-
Artie Lang in college, if that's any consolation.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did.
You're kidding me.
That's why he couldn't get laid.
Well, that is astonishing. I apologize for that.
No, that's all right. And thanks for coming in today, by the way. I appreciate that.
I do a podcast in my kitchen. I've been late 14 times. The commute is my bedroom. There's traffic by the bathroom.
Yeah,
So go ahead. So now, how did you become a millionaire? By
osmosis.
Quite an introduction. We have, so we started.
should we say your last name or no?
Siritzidis,
Sir, now what type of name is that?
Greek.
Okay, there we go. Nice.
Yeah. So basically, the business started in 2009. That was pretty early in the solar contracting.
Right,
And
right.
Right now, it's the business evolved through a pretty.
Solar contract. So put solar on houses, like solar
Exactly.
heat and stuff like that. Or?
It's strictly electricity,
Right.
so it's grid tied photovoltaic solar.
So
is the
explain that.
technical
So in
term.
other words,
Yeah.
it's in the walls. Like it's
in the walls.
Each grid is like you don't run wires in the house.
You do. You
Yeah.
integrate into the sub panel. So
Oh, okay.
exactly. You install the solar on racking system on the rooftop. There's inverters that convert the electricity.
So you could do this on an existing home. You could,
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
That's 98% of our business is existing homes,
Great.
integrating solar. So
Right.
the bottom line is the electricity comes from the panels instead of from the traditional utility. And what's pretty exciting is that the way that we finance it is just no money out of pocket to the consumers. It's just less expensive power. So we pay for the engineering, the procurement, construction. We do all the state and utility
Right.
paperwork process, permitting. And then once it turns on, we invoice them instead of the utility company. It's at a lower rate.
So you're like a utility.
Essentially, I mean that's the point. It's just from our consumers' perspective, it's just
That's
cheaper power.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
My old man installed TV antennas for a living, and he tried doing it. He bought all this. He bought this shit from the cable guys. They were so crooked. He bought cable TV like stickers for your van. And he would tell them he was the cable department, and then it was a direct paper trail for the FBI. So.
Was Danny involved?
Does he have McGrath Selma's
Well, we
decal?
used to climb. My father taught us how to climb the. I realize every story I have is a scumbag story, but we used to climb the telephone poles, and we would take the filter off that filtered out Showtime and HBO. And the guy from the cable department said, if you boil these for half an hour, it renders them useless. The HBO signal will go right through them. And when the inspector comes around, he goes, it's fine.
Filter
It's
there.
right. So we took the filter down, we climbed up the pole, boiled them, and we got money from everybody in the neighborhood because we got the HBO for free.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And
It was
then
terrible. It was a Class A felony. And but that's what you do is legit, right?
Yeah.
Don't actually. That sounds amazing. That's unbelievable. Like, I mean, how'd you get into that? How do you learn how to do that? I mean, how do you learn that business?
You don't really. So my partner came out here from the West Coast. Solar was pretty big in California.
Right, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So then when he came out here, he was young and ambitious and far beyond our intellect, I should say.
Well, but business, you got to learn somebody. You got to have two guys. You got to have a marketing guy, a guy who knows how to like Steve Jobs. What you're learning clearly was the guy who told the world about Apple. And the other guy, whose name escapes me, what's his name? The fat guy, Kazanovich, Kavanagich?
Yep.
Wozniak.
Wozniak.
He invented it. He was the nerd. So you need two guys like that. And are you the marketing genius?
So I wouldn't say all that, but he's on the construction and engineering side. I'm on the sales and business development. So.
Both very important.
So that was a lot of businesses didn't have kind of both pillars there.
Right.
So we were at the right place at the right time in the inception of this unique and new financing platform, and we started to scale the business. And we started in the commercial sector. It was really difficult.
So in other words, no private homes. You were doing businesses.
Exactly.
Right.
Just because we saw the ticket items, and frankly speaking, we couldn't afford a sales force, so I figured go after the bigger tickets.
Yeah, it's like, how do you decide when you're gonna invest in the company? And it's a risky thing, you're talking about a lot of shit. You're every department,
You're right. Well, I didn't know that he had come on, and it seemed like he had this very successful business. I was just graduated school with a degree in finance, which was less.
That helps.
Well, it didn't necessarily help getting onto Wall Street when there was the depths of the recession, 2010.
Oh, you were right around right after the
right.
Madoff and the Lehman Brothers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I bought my house down the shore. I waited till then to buy a $2.5 million fucking house down the shore. Only house that ever lost money on the fucking bay. Whatever. I'm sorry.
That's it.
No, that's all right.
Sorry to bring it. I'm bringing the room down. So you get involved and you start the business in 2010.
Right.
And
it was really 2009, 2000, the end of 2009, 2010.
Right.
And I started selling from part-time quickly. I was just, the strongest sales rep he had, and he had the foresight to take
So
me
you
on
were a
board.
sales guy in the beginning.
That's it.
And you were that good to where you rose fast.
I put together a financial platform that allowed us to collateralize utility incentives, and I bridged the gap. There was a tax credit. It was actually a grant at the time with the government. I assigned it to suppliers. We got product. To make a short story long, I mean,
So you met this guy. I'm trying to figure out how fast you did this. Like, you start out as a salesman.
All right, let me go through that.
And you and this guy, he sees how good you are, and so he rises you up in the company.
Well, it was a company of 3, right? So he had the foresight to say that he was going to give me an offer.
Who was the other guy? Sales guy?
It was an assistant secretary.
Is she still there?
No. Thank God.
We need a secretary.
Yeah.
Is that rich now?
If this interview goes pretty well, it will be.
I want to see. You always need a rich. You always need a rich Bobner. I thought it was Bodner for a while, but so now so you have to learn all this shit. In other words, you're not just a bullshitter. You can't bullshit your way through a sales thing like that. Like you got to know about how it works and.
Yeah, it was a slow learn. I was a beneficiary of the fact that it was a brand new industry. So, coming in, we had 2 years, 3 years experience. Still, the business wasn't taking off, but you start to become the authority of the subject because there's just it's not like finance where the guys next to you have 2-3 decades experience.
And what you offer is just it's cheaper. That's the basic thing. It's not like is it safer, like environmental shit, all that stuff. Like is that a pitch too, where you're not fucking with the environment, or is there anything else except money?
Of course, our value proposition is less expensive power. It's cleaner electricity,
right?
And then also a very important component for the customer is price protection. There's no way that a residential consumer could achieve long-term price protection.
So who doesn't want this? In other words, like it sounds like everybody should want it, right?
Yeah, it's a learning curve.
What about a building like this? Like I own this condo, but obviously I can't do something like that. So how do you get into that market? Because that would be huge. I mean, can you do something?
You'd be surprised because when you get on the top of these buildings, they're kind of vertically built, stacked with a lot of floors. So there's not a lot of usable square footage on this type of building.
Oh, no, not at all. It's
units. You've got different.
This was built by wise guys. Everything that fell over. This thing was built in the year 2000, and doesn't have central air. Those units fell over a truck, and like you're taking these. And my friend was one of the guys who built this place. He went away for like 2 years. He goes, I'm getting away with my wife. And when he got out, there was like 40 mil waiting for him. Buried under the C-section of Giant Stadium. So now this is still in its infancy, obviously. I mean, you're like it's exciting. Yeah. You're what, 28 years old?
28,
yeah. So, just try to explain exactly how you went from the sales guy to right now we're sitting here with Rich Bodner.
So we put together a financing platform to allow our commercial entities to have no money out of pocket. It was pretty complex. It was something that only we had, and it was really precarious, to say the least. I mean, it was just very difficult to put together. It was very difficult to get eligible customers, and then we had no working capital. So
that's what I mean. Yeah. It's like, how do you drag that jump?
They had a grant, and this was really what put like meaningful revenues on the business's books. First of all, the guy, my partner, he offered me like a salary that I couldn't refuse. I still had jobs lined up on Wall Street. I was going to go that route. And obviously, I'm thankful I didn't. But he gave me like $5,000 a month, which was big back then. Fresh out of school on top of any sales commission. So I'm thinking, all right, fresh out of the gate, I'm going to clean 6 figures. It's good. Of course, that lasted
right out of college. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it lasted about 2.5 pay cycles before there was nothing left. So it kind of
that happens.
Do that, I kind of had to I worked for free.
But he needs a guy like you, though. He needs a guy like you. I mean, he's not going to make this happen business wise without someone like you.
Well, and in that time frame, I roped in some large commercial clients and some 7-figure deals that I just had an obligation to see through to fruition, and that's where we had to figure it out.
Like, well, how much money do you make on a job? Like, in other words, you start out, no working capital. How much money, is it worth it for just one gig? Like, one gig, one commercial client, how much are you making?
So if those jobs were like $600,000-$700,000 and there was maybe $200,000 of gross margin in them.
Right.
But, I mean, ultimately, we never made money on them because too much time went by and it was consumed in operating expenses.
So you had to get a couple of clients that were happy on the books to where, like, it's almost word of mouth, right?
100%.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily word of mouth. It was that we then looked credible because we had like $1 million worth of revenue. So then we could go and get other financial institutions to kind of play ball with us.
Now, how do you do that? Do you hire a publicist, or you tell this commercial client, look, can you drum up business, or you're so happy with this? What do you do?
So yeah, I mean, it started with, first of all, how do you put the business together? I started selling, and then we started residential and started, with volume, and it was just me selling, but then you had to figure out how to build this shit, right? So
that's so many components to worry about. Yeah. You're juggling a million things, but so how long is it before you have enough capital to hire people, like departments?
It was a long time. So John came on. I knew John and I were great friends. He was running his father's accounting practice, has his disciplines in technology otherwise, and he just came on and basically volunteered.
Right.
And
because he saw you doing well, probably, right?
we weren't doing well. He saw, I guess, ambition and I mean, John's now an equity partner in the business, so it paid off. For
He looks comfortable.
Look at how happy he is. You know, it wasn't like when I went to the bank, I said, look, I got Artie Lang as a customer. And they, here, what do you need?
Yeah, my name will make doors fly open.
This note will get paid off in days.
Well, I'm a big spender. But stuff like this is exciting, too, because you feel like you're on the cutting edge of something, which you are. You know? Like, how old's the guy that you're part of, the guy, like the technical guy?
He's a 32.
Yeah, oh God, he's ancient.
Yeah. he's a senior citizen in this industry.
Yeah. But you know, the other thing too that you have for you on your side is like, this is why I went into show business too. Part of it is it's exciting. It's not like you're not in an office, even off Wall Street. Yeah, you got the gambling aspect of it, which gives you some juice. But this is like you're doing something in the world where you're kind of making a mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's positive in every way. Less money. It makes, quite frankly, I used to work with electricians running wires. It makes that sound ancient, and that's all millennials are about, man. And stuff sound like I had a girlfriend, a 28-year-old girlfriend, and I was reading the paper. And she said to me, you look like you're an old man. I said, why? Because I'm reading the fucking Daily News. And she said to me, she had the audacity to say to me that she reads this stuff on her Facebook page, and she gets all the news that I get. I go, no, you don't. I mean, you never finish a fucking story. She had one of those Facebook alerts on there. So she would read a story like this. Oh my God, a terrorist attack happened in Rome. Danielle got her hair colored. But that's what they want. They want like something that seems new. You know what I mean? And that's what you got too. I mean, the sales pitch, you could bullshit one of those assholes who doesn't know what they're talking about with daddy's money or something, and you can sell them on the fact that it looks cool.
I'll tell you the truth. I mean, of our many sales pitches, never aesthetics were kind of a part of what's sexy for solar. It's something you almost have to work around.
There you go, sexy and solar.
There you go. I think it's sexier than
how do we get a piece
shingles, but I mean, people tell me I have a
no,
biased opinion.
No, of course it is, though. It is. That's the other thing. You got the truth behind you with this. You don't have to bullshit. It's not like those guys who hug tin, like my old man sold aluminum siding in the 60s. He taught people to make their house uglier.
Wait, did he do that old pitch where he's out there taking a picture of the house? And
yeah.
Gonna put it on?
Yeah, like in Tin Man. You ever seen the movie?
Yeah, what are you doing over here? Oh, well, it's going to be on the cover of our program.
Right. Well, he was a con man, essentially. But you have the truth on your side. It sounds cooler. Everything about it's cooler,
You need to come down to the office.
Who has an aversion to, that would be great. I mean, now we have 450 employees. Yeah. And
so, okay, when does that happen? Like, when is that sort of like, when do you pop the champagne and go, all right, everything's cool. I'm going to be in Artie Lang's apartment soon.
I've made it.
He thought it was going to be a big studio.
But believe me, you'll meet cooler celebrities as the time goes on. You'll be telling like someone like Chelsea Handler, it started out with Artie Lang. And she'll throw up on your dick.
Oh, God.
Chelsea, I need a hammer. So go ahead. Now, when does it go from like you got 3 people to like, wow, this is hitting? Like, is it immediate?
So it was definitely not immediate. I mean, a lot of the growth has been in the last 2 years.
Right, but how old? What the first day you started working on the company is how many years ago?
2010.
That's kind of immediate.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, in the business world, if you tell Henry Ford
right,
that's not immediate, he'll probably chop your head off.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably commit $200 million of residence.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
I'd lead with that.
I'd lead with that.
I'd go Bodner second.
Oh, God.
No, so 200 mil. God bless you.
For years, you led with me. I don't get it. now you got a new guy.
No, but that's great. That really is fantastic. So what's your cut? 200 mil? I'm kidding.
Mike,
you got an apartment in Weehawken.
Right.
We'll come to that.
That's right. We're getting
that's all they let me take.
Do you have solar in that place?
I just moved in there like a month ago, but also it's the same kind of strategy here. You don't have a rooftop. There's not a lot of space. There's
a million fucking things. It's so stupid.
I have it on my home. I have a home, and I bought another home. Anyhow,
take it easy, my God.
I have solar.
Where's the home? Let's go there later.
Yeah.
Well, you have another home in Jersey. Like, do you have a summer place you're talking about?
No, we have. I moved from Clifton, New Jersey.
Oh, thank God. Is that where you grew up?
Oh my God.
I had a whole family in Nutley.
West Caldwell.
Oh, West Caldwell. Yeah. Now what's the family? Are they off the boat Greeks or like how many generations? Really, your father, mother,
My father,
accent?
Yeah,
my
he's
father
got
has
the
an accent. My mother was
That's
adopted. when she was-
fantastic. I mean, what a great story. So what do they do?
Wait a minute. Tell him what your dad does.
Diner.
Well, my father,
Diner.
no, Greek Orthodox priest actually.
Right.
Wow.
And he's the chaplain down at McGuire Air Force
He's
Base.
a lieutenant colonel in the
Yeah,
Air Force.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's
So he must be so proud of you.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
you're
is.
living the American dream.
is. Yeah, I think my father was always very entrepreneurial, but they say you get the calling for the priest. He looks at himself in a mirror and he sees himself in priest vestments. So
Right. That hurts like your business.
I think, yeah.
That hurts telling somebody to get the aluminum
Certainly.
siding.
I guess it
Well, how
encourages
was he
him.
entrepreneurial though? How, did he use
He
that?
started,
or
well,
anyone?
he came here. He applied to Boston University, I think Northeastern, and he went to Northeastern because they had a work-study program. He worked, 3 jobs to pay for his way through school.
Isn't that great?
They
What
had,
work
like, 6
ethic those
months off,
people
6
had?
months off.
That generation of work ethic. Like,
Well, he grew up kind of, shitting in a hole in the backyard and sleeping 2 at the feet, 2 at the head. So it kind of forced disciplines. And a lot of my work ethic really came from him. And it was kind of not in a traditional, like, go to business school and do. It was more like, I'm even when I'm working at my, I remember being in my bedroom, I'm sitting down folding clothes. And he smacks me in the back of the head. You don't work sitting down.
oh, really? Yeah, my father had to get up every day and like take a ladder off a fucking van, and hot, cold. Sometimes the ladder would be stuck to the van because it was freezing, and he did that so I had to have a chance to be to meet Rich one day, and no, I mean,
You gotta have a dream, Marty.
this next weekend I'll make more than he ever made in a year. And I bitch sometimes about my job. He would just beat the shit out of me if he heard me bitching about anything. He would get mad. He's also a low-level criminal. But, your father sounds like a way better guy. The priest thing. Like, my mother was religious. When I worked with my father, we'd climb roofs, running wires for antennas. And he'd say to me, go to church for your mother, but there's nothing up there. There's nothing up there. It's very confusing. Oh, God. But he fell off a roof, became a quadriplegic. And then my mother thought he got God. And then he told me 2 weeks into it, he goes, I'm bullshitting your mother about God.
Oh, God.
He goes, take care of her. Left me a piece of sheetrock.
Well, we know the one person at the company that won't listen to this interview will be his dad now.
Well, no, I'm giving his dad a compliment. The guy's a great man.
Yeah, but it was all the lead up.
Oh, no, it's fine. We could cut this any way you want. We could cut this on I'm Chelsea Handler. Well, make me Jessica Lange. But he must be insanely proud. Is my point. It's like the job I got on Stern. My father loves Howard Stern. That would be like becoming a U.S. senator to him. It really would.
Yeah.
But then everything else would disappoint him. You're like leading a good life. You're quite frankly, you're like a dream son for him. I bet. How could the kid do any better than you? Think about it. Maybe did you want you to be a priest? Or was that the thing?
No. He not at all.
Yeah.
We're in pretty good standings with my father.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah. He's a good man. He's in the office every day.
Well, look, you need that influence. Keep checks and balances. My old man would have been like that too. And, we'll become one of the whack pack with Beetlejuice, probably.
Yeah.
He had no teeth. But it makes me weepy because I think you're what my old man probably wanted me to be. Actually, I'm probably old enough to be your dad. How old are you? 28?
28.
Yeah, I can imagine. 21. Fucking girlfriend had an abortion in 1997. Don't tell me that is. Without telling me she has an abortion in California, in Zuma Beach. The kid would be 20 in 1990 in August. Wow. Son. She just called me. She's doing her 8th step.
You always have a happy story. You always lighten the
Well,
mood.
listen, these guys are offended by everything. I know it's gonna be like this.
You always know how to bring that level up.
Have you heard my shit? Well, some people laugh at this. It's Danny. Where is he?
And by the way, this is why they've got a fond affection with everything military. And this is why we're doing this whole big program.
Right.
With the
Well,
USA.
those guys love, and the best thing I've ever done is that tour, because when those guys hear, even if a guy wasn't there to see me, another soldier knows that, they like hug me. They're very emotional about it. So the best thing you can do is try to help them out. And so we explain exactly what we're doing there.
Well, look, I'll tell you a quick story. The way I met Arthur was I went down to meet him. I was pitching him to sponsor the race car.
Right.
And we started talking about the race car. And like the next day, the fellow that introduced us, a guy by the name of Frank Pescator.
Yeah.
I called him up. I'm like, I want to go back. I want to meet these guys again.
Right.
And then we had meeting after meeting after meeting because I saw what was going on, and you could just see it. You could feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's exciting. It is.
Yeah. So I was like, look, I want to get involved with this, and so now we have Momentum Solar on my stock car, and I'm still racing NASCAR.
Right.
So we got that on.
You moved down to Atlanta at some point, right?
Yeah,
After I
did.
know,
Yeah, I towed the race car.
And
tools,
that's what you
and
went
stuff.
there for specifically?
Yeah.
That's cool as hell, too.
Now, does the race car run on solar power too, or is that?
No.
That runs on Rich Bodner.
But anyway, so we're using the car now for a lot of different events, and one of the things we did was we partnered with the USO, the Metropolitan Area USO, and we got invited to bring.
How'd that come about?
I called them up, told them what we were doing,
Right.
And Momentum's got a give back program, and what we're going to do is what happened was we got invited to be at the New York Auto Show,
Right.
and
That's huge. I mean,
Yeah.
that's only mainstream successful shit goes there. I know that from
Yeah,
my agents.
yeah.
and
They
stuff.
don't have they don't allow vendors and all that stuff. But they said, look, you guys can bring the car in,
Right.
And then we talked to the USO and said, look, we're going to be over there. Why don't we work a program out where every system that we install that comes out of there, we're going to donate $500 back to the USO,
Right.
and then you're going to show up.
Well, here's the thing. I should the way this went this year.
Right.
You guys probably listen to the podcast because I don't know if you want to be involved with this. You know what I mean? Like you should. I'll do anything you want, but you should probably listen to them. Like these are tame stories. I just.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of very. You should listen to the show.
Yeah.
You should send them some promos because I don't know if you want to do this. I mean, I have a lot of companies turn me down. That's why I'm doing the monthly thing. Because people hear it and go, no, we don't want to do that. And that's not going to insult me at all. But I would certainly. It's why I don't have sponsors because we tried having a sponsor. And the guy listened and he said, "Could you not talk about this?" And I said, "No, talk about whatever I want." But I would do anything for you guys to help you. But you should probably wonder if you want to be involved with it because I can't censor the show ever.
No, I get that.
Right. So
You just need to tell all your fans to head over to the New York Auto Show and come by our booth.
yeah, I don't know if you want my fans there. They're all criminals.
That's a good point.
See, I don't want to be something that's a negative in your life.
Wait, did I
the
ever
priest will pray for my death.
Did I ever tell you a story? I was playing for a semi-pro football team.
The story's already bullshit.
Well, thanks. Art.
Yes.
But anyway, so we had a big game. We were going to play up at Graterford State Prison, and we had to stop at the county jail in Wilmington, Delaware, to pick up our running back.
Right.
We had to sign him out. I swear to God.
See, I was in LA
you
County
can't
Jail
make
for
that up.
3 months.
Yeah.
And, for possession of coke. I took a swing at an LA cop. Not a good. I showered in between a bud and a crip who were mad at each other. And, those stories that I don't know if you want the guys who like those stories over at the auto show. They go to the Steel Auto Show.
That's right.
They teach you how to steal an auto. So, this is something that, like you say, the story about your father and stuff, it's very close to my heart because I think it's a great success story, too. The fact you're so young and you're $200 million, it's all great shit. It's literally the American dream.
Yeah.
I am not that. I am sort of a nightmare on a lot of levels. But I would do whatever you want me to do. I would show up there. I mean, I have a busy schedule, but I will make it. I'll go over there.
Hey, look, if you can get over there,
What do you want me to do when I go there?
Polish the car, most
I was
likely.
going to say, what
else would
do you want me to talk?
God, no, please.
Yeah, I was going to say. So what do you want to just stand there?
Give me that Miss America
See, if
wave.
I talk, trouble's going to happen.
Of course.
Definitely no microphone.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So me without a microphone, I'm kind of just look like a homeless guy.
Let's bring a
Here's
cutout
what,
of
Here's
it.
what we'll do.
That's better.
I think we set up a camera and we videotape you getting in and out of the car. And
Just getting out. Yeah, okay.
just we'll post it on YouTube.
That feels
say
like a
it.
struggle.
It'll be like 7 million hits overnight.
Yeah, okay. I doubt that, but I'll
We'll
plug
have
it.
you wearing a Momentum T-shirt, Momentum Solar T-shirt.
See, I don't say momentum to people.
No.
I don't scream momentum. I scream, you're losing momentum. If your company's name was "We're losing momentum," I should be there. Stuff's going bad. If the company's name were the direct opposite of what you want to do. But some people do like me enough to buy shit. It's mostly weed. See, now we're having fun.
There we go.
So what are the chances of you showing up if you say?
Oh,
you're
well,
gonna
no.
be-
First of all, no.
No,
That's not,
statistically.
I will show up. I never don't show up. I show up. Yeah, sure. Of course, I wouldn't do that to you. I'm not a dirtbag. But I started out on welfare. You don't get this apart from not showing up. And plus, if I made a commitment to guys like you, I would certainly. I love you guys. This is my. Except for the fact that you've never been convicted of a felony, we're exactly the same. No, I would ask, but so we got to figure out what I'm going to do when I show up. That's the thing.
Look, even if you came by and signed some autographs, I think because of the stuff we're doing with the USO, we're going to try and get it out to a lot of the military.
Well, I might go back to Afghanistan.
Well,
I just got a call to go back, and I said I certainly would. I put together. It was called Operation Mirth, a little catchy title, and I hired all the guys. I had to close, and those people are so grateful that you go over there, and. With the two, you guys know who David Tell is?
Yeah.
Okay. He was one of the guys who came. And there were two rules for doing stand-up over there. One was you can't talk about the president. So this was 2008. And we're like, fine, I'm not going to bring any pussies.
I know where you're going.
You can't talk about the president. And he said the other rule was you can't talk about masturbating. And I said, why? I guess it was an epidemic or something. I was there for 10 days. I almost broke a record. And we were staying in the barracks. So David Tell gets up there, and this is the first thing he says. He goes, guys, they say we can't talk about masturbating. And I wouldn't break that rule. I'm not going to break that rule. I'm going to adhere to that rule. What I like to do is start with a story about the time I was fucking a sock with shampoo in it.
Personification.
10-minute standing ovation. 10-minute laugh and do a standing ovation. Then after that, we could talk about anything we want. We could talk about the president masturbating.
That's funny.
These people don't even know. Like these college kids who run these sororities who get stand-up shows. They don't want to be offensive. That's all these kids want to hear. They're 19 years old, and they think they're like, none of the shit you do on Howard. I'm like, what the fuck you hire me for? What do you think? I'm going to go up to like Mary Poppins or something? They had a deaf interpreter chick, and I said, you can't do that. She didn't know hits. I said, listen, ask if there's any deaf people. And there wasn't. I said, so you can leave. I mean, what? It's distracting. We'll still pay you. You can leave. She had us. The rule was the sorority wanted this, so it's like a politically correct thing. And, she's doing this. I had Colin Quinn and Nick DiPaolo, two of the most insensitive comics. So I said to her, how do you say pussy? The word pussy, like vagina. I swear to God, the deaf thing for that is she made a triangle right here. Okay? And after every joke, I was up there for 30 minutes. After every joke, for no reason, I said pussy. I said, pussy. At the end, I said pussy 50 straight times. Pussy, pussy, pussy. She kept going. It was my Rosalita. This is a big closer. So I left. Now Colin Quinn goes up. Colin tells a joke that bombs. Completely bombs. He walks over to the woman, hits her on the head, and goes, "Is this thing on?" Then I ran out and yelled, "Pussy!" And the kids were laughing so hard they were barreled over laughing. And the security broad who hired us told security to kick us off the stage.
Come on.
We got kicked off the stage. And
correct.
yeah, very
Oh, God.
well. We made the deaf interpreter chick cry. And then
Was it like this?
no, it was real. I said, let's go on the extra mile. And then I won't say which one of us, but one of us fucked her. Yeah. To her make to hear her say, "Get off my rib."
Oh God!
Run, fatty. All right.
So tell me something. When you get when they call you up to do like the USO stuff, do you end up putting that together? Do they call?
Well, they
you?
asked me the first time. Yeah, the agent said, they specifically. It's very touching because the soldiers voted me to go.
Right.
I was number 2 behind Billy Crystal.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So I have to go for that, And the last time they got Stern over there, so they said they voted me. They asked if I would go, so I have to go. I would not do that to those guys. And I made a relationship, a couple of friendships with the guys because it's such hard to do because you don't want to get bad news.
Yeah, that's
it's terrible.
That's right.
People like kids in their 20s, they get bad news. Like they broke their leg. They're in business with Rich Bobner.
God forbid.
You guys come here a year later. I'm broke. Rich has 2 Corvettes. All right, let's take a break and we'll figure this out. I think this calls for an off-air conversation. No, I gotta take a leak. Well, we gotta find Danny. Now I'm starting to get worried. Where's Wookie? Did he drive with you?
No. He was supposed to pick me up at 5:30.
He didn't pick you up? Maybe his hair's frozen.
He goes, I'm on my way.
Slice of pizza. Quick break. The trans-operative community. Okay, so we're back, by the way.
By the way, do you want me to tell you the story about Buddy Ryan? I know you're a football guy.
I thought I wasn't allowed to use your name. Buddy Ryan, no, I'm hearing his story.
Oh, go ahead.
So first, I know Ann Coulter was here, right?
Yeah, and she's been a couple times. She's from. What happened with her? I was on a podcast with her, and she came to see me do stand-up. She became like a fan, and I said, "Come on," you know. And yeah, that was like I don't know anything about. What she had a bad experience at a roast, right? Is that what happened?
Oh my God, I felt so terrible.
She was the one right-wing person in the right.
It was much more than that, though. She just got crushed, and I felt, and you feel like she's a nice person. I know you.
I like her. Yeah, I like her a lot.
That. But I was just wondering how. I mean, first of all, you've been on roasts, right?
Right. Oh yeah, I've done them all. Yep. I did 2 of the Comedy Central ones. I couldn't do one. I couldn't do Bob Saget because I turned green. I was in full-blown opiate withdrawal. So and I couldn't get on a fucking plane. But I did. I did Hugh Hefner, and I did William Shatner.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Yeah, and I write most. I did Donald Trump. That's on the internet from like 2004. That was fun. But I forgot him. He got mad at me for a joke I did.
Well, he gets mad at everyone.
Yeah, but it was like I golf with him too. It's funny. I love the guy. He's like a big kid. He's like got an 8th grade mentality. If you know him for 2 minutes, if he likes you, you're goofing on each other's shoes. You know,
that's so amazing. You were golfing with the U.S. president, though. When you think of it,
I know.
Like, and I never thought you could say that.
Absolutely. And Eli Manning. And by the end, me and Trump were goofing on Eli Manning like bullies in high school. We're stuffing him in a locker. You know what I do sometimes? I blow up the picture of me golfing with Trump, and if my cleaning lady is a little slow, I just put it up in the bedroom.
Oh my God!
You know, Mr. Trump? Yeah. How about the laundry? Let's snap it up, Consuela. You know Mr. Trump? Yes.
Oh my God.
The joke was you could fuck with anything except his business. So this was this got voted best joke by the New York Post. I said, it was when he was losing a lot of money in Atlantic City, and the Borgata just went up.
Yeah.
So I said to him, recently Donald took his daughter through Atlantic City and said, someday, honey, your name will be on the top of all these buildings. That's if you marry a guy named Borgata.
That is so
He
good.
laughs his ass off at the fucking roast, right? So he comes into Howard, and this is the brilliance of Howard. Howard goes, now he comes in gushing over me. He goes, Artie was voted best guy. He was the best guy of everybody there, which was true. Look, roast I'm in and out, but I did well that show. So I did. I got voted in the paper. It was nice. It was a nice hit publicity-wise for me. And he comes in gushing over me. Howard goes, what's one of the jokes you told? And I tell that joke. Now, it's just me, Howard, Robin, and Donald Trump. We're all laughing, and after I tell a joke, he felt trapped, like we were goofing on him, and he just immediately, on a dime, switched and goes, Artie's a loser. He bombed it by roast. It's on the internet. People found the tape of it, like they do, and they put it all over Twitter. I almost got on CNN to talk about it, and they said, well, you seem sort of to the right when you talk. Blah, blah. I said, listen, I'm for one guy, me. I'm for candidate Lang. Okay. If you slap my fucking website on the bottom of it, I'll just say whatever the fuck you want. But the roast, it's funny. Fans of comedy, that's what they ask about the most of the roast, because they really are a tough spot. You could be a veteran, and Comedy Central always had one guy who bombed, and you get cut out of the show, and you just don't want to be that guy. And I was never that guy, thank God. But sometimes you need help in the editing.
Who was the guy from the Jersey Shore on the Trump?
That was a Trump from Comedy Central. This was different.
Okay.
Terrible. And they knew the situation.
Oh, the situation.
Yeah.
The
guy named The Situation is not going to be funny.
I'll tell you who was funny was Martha Stewart with Justin Bieber.
She was hilarious.
She was so funny.
She killed it, right?
My buddy Frank wrote that joke about when she said, I'll cut a bitch in the...
Well, the question we were talking about was, do they go too far? And in my opinion, it is a little bit off-putting.
Lately they
sometimes
have.
when-
Yep.
I mean, they're talking. They'll find the angle. They'll find whose father had a tragic death, or
Right.
a drug overdose in the family, and
Well,
they'll just
listen,
crush you.
I got a
couldn't
perfect story about this. Listen, this is how those roasts are. Greg Giraldo became great at them, and he was a good friend of mine. And he was really, really funny, and this was becoming his thing. Like Jeff Ross and these guys are good. They're great stand-ups, but they're better at roasting. You know. So Greg shows up. I'm in the first class lounge of the JFK airport, and we're going out to the Shatner roast. And he was the only other guy coming from New York, so it was just me and him. And he had a bad drug problem with cocaine, and he was all fucked up. He'd been up for 4 days, and he was like tweaked out. He was really nervous. Art, I can't get on the plane. And I said, you got to get on the plane, Greg. This is your career. I mean, so I had a couple of Vicodin. I got him a beer. I said, just calm the fuck down. I changed my seat. I held his hand all the way to fucking L.A. When he had to go to the bathroom, he was afraid to get up. I stood by the door of the bathroom and made sure nobody fucked with him. Wow. We get to L.A. I go to his. We had to have a dress rehearsal the next day at noon. We're at the Four Seasons. I stayed in his room with him. I put a hot towel on his head because I had been through that before, and I made sure he was all right. We took the same car to dress rehearsal, which was so funny. He's like all tweaked out behind Farrah Fawcett. He couldn't believe it was Farrah Fawcett. So she looked gorgeous, by the way. And he finally got back to I wouldn't leave his side. Got back to the hotel, took a nap. He woke up about 4 in the morning, the day of the show, car picking us up at noon. And he goes, Art, I'm better. Like, it breaks, you know. And he goes, I'm going to be all right. He gave me a big hug. He goes, thanks for doing this. I said, look, man, you'd have done it for me. And he goes, you're right. So we leave. I take the car with him just to be sure. The show. Okay, he's the first guy out. This is the first thing out of his mouth on the TV show. It's not live, it's taped, but he goes like this. He goes, how about a hand for Artie Lang? Artie Lang's here. And there's like an applause, and he looks at me and he goes, Artie Lang, look at you, you fat fucking drug addict. And I looked at him and I went, what the fuck? And he went, he gave me the show, like, what? And I'm sitting next to Andy Dick, who's ossified. And he cut to me, then they cut it out, and they cut it out. They go, and he said, why'd you cut that joke out? Because Artie's not famous enough to start with. Then Betty White gets up. They left this one, and Betty White goes, it's always great to see Artie Lang here. Especially knowing I'm going to outlive him. That gets a huge roar. So that's what it is. And it's funny you say that. At that roast, they were just starting to get really vicious. And now people think if you kill with a vicious set, you'll get a sitcom or something. So these young kids, they go for the jugular. People are afraid to sound corny if they ask you not to put something in. But Shatner had one rule. And the producer, Joel Gallen, called us in 2 by 2 and said, you can't talk about his wife. He found his wife lying in a swimming pool, dead. Right, yeah. And he was a suspect for a while. She was dead, lying like this in the pool when he found her. So you can't joke about that. And I'm like, in my head, I'm going, who the fuck would joke about that? I look over at Greg, his face, he clearly had like 20 minutes. And he goes, what the fuck, man? I'm like, oh, Jesus. There's nothing to talk about Shatner about, you know. But those roast people got to go in with a skin. Like Kevin Pollak, the comic, real talented guy. He did that roast because he did a good impression of William Shatner. But everybody does an impression of it, so it's not an original thing. He does all those like hacky impressions. So that's what I said, and he didn't talk to me for 3 years. I said that the joke was, I said that Kevin Pollak's here just because he does the hacky impression of William Shatner that everybody does. You're not going to see him again unless Comedy Central roasts Peter Falk. And he got mad at me. I'm like, it's a fucking roast. What are you talking about? I mean, you know, that's tame. Geraldo was going to do 20 minutes on his dead wife. So, but you're entertained by them, right? You always watch, right?
Oh, yeah.
Does it get, what gets awkward? Like, can you think of a joke that was awkward, you said?
I think just Ann Coulter was the most.
Well, what did they do to her? Because I never watched it.
It was just so vicious, and you could tell that they were had genuine malice towards her.
Right.
They just hated her.
Wow.
It was uncomfortable. It was
a lot of people are hypocrites too with that. They start yelling at her, you know, because she's a different political opinion. I mean, talk about problems. Showbiz people have problems.
Hollywood takes that too far. The right wing, left wing, it's obnoxious.
It's ridiculous. And then the irony is they get people elected. Who the fuck? What fucking truck driver in Indiana wants to vote who Ashton Kutcher tells them to vote for? I'm like, fuck you, asshole. No, they make you vote for the other guy.
Right.
Or in Hillary Clinton's case. I do a thing in my again. People laugh because it's the truth. With Hillary Clinton, she's 70. Like, take a seat, sweetie. You're done. She wants to go to a job at an office where every day she walks into the same office. Her husband got blown by a fat chick, and I say, Monica Lewinsky looked like me in a beret. And people laugh for 4 hours. And Hillary has unbridled ambition. And that's what show business is like. These women now are like, they think if you're filthy at a roast, you'll get a sitcom. So they try to talk like guys. Sarah Silverman's always been like that, though. First time I saw Sarah, she was like 23 years old, so adorable, right out of NYU. And the first joke she said was, with that squeaky voice, last week I blew a Mexican. I've had the shits for 3 days. I like that's fantastic. So it's harsh. Greg's gone though. Fucking that look. The funniest part was the look of this. Wait. What about what was your story, Rich? About who?
Oh, like you're a big football guy, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I figured, I don't know if I ever told you this story. So we went out and played the Dallas Cowboys. This is when I was with the Eagles.
Right.
And the score was like 7-0. Dallas was beating us, and we get down to like the 10-yard line. And this is back when everybody
7-0. And what position did you play?
I was tight end.
Right. Okay. So you were on the offense.
Pretty much bench.
Right.
So
still, that's cool, man. You made it to the show for a while.
But at that point, you had the third string quarterback would be signaling the plays. They didn't have headsets.
Yeah.
Right,
Don Strock.
So the third string quarterback sends in some play, and they run the wrong play.
Right.
Ball gets kicked up, fumble. Now Dallas moves down the field. Sure enough, it's 14-0, and then it just went from there. Right?
I hate
so
Dallas.
Game ends. We hop on a charter flight to come back to Philadelphia, and what they do is they roll like the beer cart in the middle of the plane.
Right.
Leave it there. You get whatever the hell you want. So I'm sitting with one of the other tight ends. We're sitting there, and half asleep after a few beers, and all of a sudden I hear this like chaos coming down the aisle from like from the front of the plane coming back. And here comes Buddy Ryan, and he's just beating his shit out of the third string quarterback. And they slam.
Physically?
Yeah, oh yeah, fist fight. Slams into the beer cart, and I'm like, and you wonder why we lost the game?
Yeah. That's Philly. Now, Philly loves shit like that.
So he's like, Buddy's yelling. And I told Rex and his brother, I ran into him in Morristown, I told him the story. And Buddy's, as he's beating him, like, you were so fucking cut from this team. You're never going to play in the league again. You're out.
He's not the guy to be a pistol.
No.
I mean, Buddy Ryan, the stories about him, man. They're like the players either love. He's got no middle area. Players love him or want to put a hit out on him.
Yeah. He was. I'll tell you what, though, he had a good sense of humor. Like we used to tease him all the time as we're leaving the practice field. I'm like, "Hey, buddy, I'm coming over to the house for dinner tonight," and he'd be like, "Yeah, the fucking day you step across my threshold, I'll shoot you."
Who would want to go there? Yeah.
And then I said to him one day, I go, "Hey, look, I just want to come over and try on your ring." And he goes, "Which one?"
Yeah. Well, never as a head coach, might I add.
All right, but how many rings did he win?
With the Giants, too, right?
He wasn't with the Giants.
He was with the defensive coordinator. No, the Bears. I'm sorry,
The Bears, yeah.
One, right?
One.
With the Bears,
right?
yeah.
No, he won 2.
With who?
Jets, Joe Willie.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He was on that team.
Yeah.
What was he as a player?
I want to say he was a D-back coach.
Yes.
Not a player, a coach.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So he won 2.
How old was he? Shit, 69.
I mean, come on, think about that.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, look, there was nobody in his family was ever on a Giant coach for Ryan.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I thought he was a Bear.
Rex was the Jets, right? And then they went up to Buffalo.
Rex is a bust. You probably love him, but it's like he's got warning track power as a coach, man. Buffalo got rid of him, but quick.
Oof. Does Eli Manning still live in Hoboken?
Yeah, he's right across over there. And he's another one I pissed off at because I do a bit about him.
He's too easy.
I just say he's a mouth breather. If not for him, Tom Brady would have a perfect fucking life.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can't beat a quarterback that looks retarded.
Have you ever seen the Bill Cosby? I think of Eli Manning. I think of Bill Cosby, like doing the thing on
raping chicks.
No, he's talking about like he has a bit on like dumb football players, like we will receive.
Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking of Eli Manning. Oh,
I did a thing on TMZ where they this will be fun. I have my whole catalog here. I'm gonna see if I got Here we go. You put some Anderson Cooper on. Little Anderson Cooper, pooper, stooper. That's my nickname. Oh, wait a minute. Is TMZ on here, Danny?
It should.
Is that? Oh, wait. They always get me outside here.
What's that?
TMZ.
What, you mean they catch you right out here?
Yeah,
Right at the front door?
I do a Bill Cosby joke that I don't want to say out loud because the way this is going, Jesus, I'm going to get fired.
So, like, when you walk out of the apartment,
There's a
always
kid
camera
waiting
guys
there.
there?
Sometimes a kid waiting there if something happens. But this, I must say, I had this joke in my arsenal. And I got to debut it here.
Because I was going to say, the only guy I saw out there with a camera was me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not a paparazzi. If McGrath came, it would have been he.
There we go.
There he is.
You look like a Russian mob guy.
Sorry, John Stamos.
Hey, listen,
Wait a minute.
it's Bodner.
I never knew that. Look at her. Jesus Christ.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, we're going in.
How you doing, my friend?
How are you?
I got Artie Lang in Hoboken. I asked Artie, I go, what are your thoughts on the Bill Cosby situation? He goes,
Well, I don't know. It's just terrible. One of the best comedians ever. And he looks like a monster. Not only is he a monster, he looks like he's got that crazy, lazy eye that looks the other way.
Hey, it's a solid point that all of this stuff Bill Cosby kind of came together with him looking nothing like he used to look. See him now, he looks changed. As if the evil came out of him.
well, Artie has a theory about the eye.
I figured out why he has an eye.
Why is that?
Well, when you're locked in your dressing room, raping a chick, you have to keep one eye on the door.
My God. Oh, my God, you did not go there.
That stays permanent. Chemical thing.
I love it. Artie the Magic. Thanks, buddy.
I love you guys.
TMZ presents.
I talked about Eli on this too. And I see him on the pizzeria and he gets mad at me. It's weird. I'm like, sorry, buddy. I'm doing my fucking job. Why don't you for a change just fucking say something? Oh, wait, what was that? May? Oh, that's right. It was, okay, they got me in a cold. The kid was outside. I said, come up to the apartment if you want.
See, Artie, I think there should be. What do you got?
Is that Rihanna? Oh, God, these fucking people. Oh, no, that's Eddie Murphy's ex-wife. She's a fucking hot. She's a piece of ass.
Look more like Eddie Murphy.
No, she's hot, man. Did you ever see her? The one, his first wife? Nicole or whoever?
Is this the one I met over at the China Club? That one?
Which one?
She met her over at the China Club?
Yeah, no, she's like
Yeah.
tall, blue eyes.
So, Artie, I think, look,
There's
when people with wandering eyes, don't you think they should have a card that they give you? Like, I give up the handicap spot and the ramps and all that stuff. Give me a card that says which eye I should be looking at.
Well, Bill Cosby don't need to do anything around him. Oh, look at this shit. Watch, I do an Eli. I think I do an Eli thing.
Who did you hear that day?
I was homeless. I don't know.
Back again.
Hey, Bruce Willis is still making movies. We've just never heard of any of them.
Well, I got Miss Chloe, so cool. Chris Hemsworth looks like a sleeping. I would never do that.
Look at that. That's Tom Hardy. Look at
My
him.
wife's buddy as well, so like a massive douche.
No, Tom, you've done.
Can't watch this show.
We applaud your honesty. So would dogs if they could.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
It's cold. I got this. I look like a chubby jewel thief.
Artie Lang in Hoboken. We're like, what's the most interesting celeb experience you've had? And he's like, well,
Tom Cruise and Kelly Preston. I was in the movie Jerry Maguire.
because it was a big scene, but it got cut. He goes, I did exactly what was scripted.
And at the end of the scene, Tom Cruise looks at me in front of everybody and goes, can you come in quicker, please? And everybody's like, whoa, Tom Cruise is yelling at this kid. And there was a pause in the script.
I thought he was nice, like a really nice guy.
Artie's story is how intense Tom Cruise is.
Next scene, I don't pause. I come in, I do it the way he wants to. End of the scene, he goes, thank you. Like he's one of those intense guys who's always going snowboarding. Yeah.
So then Artie tells us that on set.
Jump rope action. He helped me. And he went right in because he had to be energized. Yeah. I guess he did try acting.
Burning every bridge.
He kept looking at me because he knows Tristan Cruz. He goes, yeah, go, okay, Tom is jumping. He's jumping. He's jumping. He kept rolling around. Tom's jumping rope. He's jumping rope. We ready, Tom? You're right. You jump and action.
That guy hated him. I said something, but anyway, I see him after I talk about him, and he goes, what are you fucking with me for in your stand-up? I'm like, why are you even watching it? Right now, Tom Brady, who you beat, is on a yacht with Hooters chicks. You're behind me at a pizzeria in fucking Hoboken. But his wife is gorgeous. He's got a southern wife. He still keeps a place over there. He had 2 kids. Now he's got a house in Summit. He lives right across there. There was lofts, you know. And he's got the corner apartment. I was up there once. It's beautiful. He's a nice guy. But they got a brother, Cooper Manning, and he works for an insurance company. I do a bit now, right? And they love the guy. They defend him, but I'm like, that's a tough Thanksgiving for Cooper Manning. Like, your father gets drunk and says, "Can you pass the gravy, Cooper? Can you pass anything? Can you get a divorce and get married again so all my kids have 2 rings?"
Oh my God.
And they defend Cooper.
So all my kids have 2 rings.
That gets a moan from kids in the comedy club. I'm like, calm down. Cooper's going to be fun.
How about Peyton in the roast?
Did he do a roast?
That? Oh my God, it was so funny. He was at a roast and then they roasted.
Oh, he was at a roast. Yeah,
he was at a roast.
That's you got a problem. If you're at the roast, you're free game. You know?
You're getting roasted. Yeah, no question. And it was hilarious because they were sitting there and they're saying, "You were so good at commercials, though. You are really unbelievable. You are like the Tom Brady of commercials." I forget who the girl was.
Yeah, but he's actually. I'm like, well, yeah, sure. Why even try? Just cash the check. There was a kid, the sitcom I did with Norm Macdonald. A kid did a commercial with Jordan on the golf course. The rule was you had 4 hours with Jordan, and the clock started ticking from the time you got in the car. And so they got there early to do every shot that he wasn't in first. And he said, Jordan, and directors of those commercials at that level, they make big money. So the director was closest to the chip, in between shots, gambling with Jordan. So the director goes, "Hey, you want to bet on this?" And he goes, "Whatever scares you, man." Intense. Like, well, okay, I'm kidding. So the degenerate in him come out. And guys are fucking poker hustlers. There's golf hustlers. They just wait and they fucking take him for all his money. The poker guys in Vegas, they win $800,000 off Jordan in a sitting.
Oh my God.
800,000 to a guy in Hold'em because he just loves playing. And he's a true degenerate. He's gotta stay there till he loses. Which is
if you gotta feel it, right? I mean,
yeah, he wants to get the action out of it. Right. He got bored playing basketball.
It's like $80 for me. For him, it's $800,000.
Well, listen, $800,000. Yeah, they give you a $80,000 watch. That's the casino gives them a watch for $80,000, whatever it really costs. But it's always a nice watch, and then usually in the morning you see a golf hustler whose wife has the watch on. Well, look, guys, I could read this whole plug here, and we'll plug it on this one. We could plug it as much as you want leading up to this thing. What are you going to do with this with the USO? What are you going to do? Is there an event, or are you just going to? What are you going to do with them?
Well, we're going to be working with them from here on out. It's the metropolitan area USO.
But doing what though? Like
trying to raise money for them.
Oh, okay.
So anybody that from the New York Auto Show.
Does the USO have any golf hustlers? They want to play with Jordan? That'd be the move. So any like events, like maybe a stand-up show or something?
Well, look, we keep talking about doing some kind of event. And we got to figure that out.
All right.
Part of the initiative is hiring vets too, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's something that's.
Oh, okay, getting them jobs. Yeah. All right.
It's just under we have that initiative. We have dozens of.
It's true. You think of vets, you think of old guys. These are young guys who came back and
Our CFO is a vet.
Right.
He was
that's
a tanker
great.
in
Afghanistan,
but he came from West Point.
What year?
Harvard Business
What year was he over there?
Probably must 15 years ago.
Yeah. Harvard Business.
And then
Wow, good for him. That's great.
So the point is, I mean, think about. I think that
smart guys,
definitely smart guys. But if you think about that pool of applicants, regardless of where they're at in the labor pool, they're disciplined. I mean, they show up.
They do work, man. They do. They work their. The kid who was my bodyguard in charge of keeping me safe. This black kid from Brooklyn, like a real impressive guy, and he was an officer, But he always made fat jokes about me, and I had even if they were bad, I had to laugh at them because he's saving my life. But a couple of times he had a good one. We were under mortar attack. This actually made the Daily News. We all had to go into a bunker for like an hour because it was right out of a movie. We did stand up, and then we had to do a meet and greet where we signed pictures for the guys. So on the way to the meet and greet, it said incoming, and this big the cars we were in, the Hummers we were in, pulled over. We go in this bunker for an hour while there's a big mortar attack outside, and I guess we were in danger. And I said to the kid, I said to him, "Are we in trouble here?" And he goes, "Oh man, I look at this shit like this right here, man. If one of these motherfuckers hits you, you're just gonna be dust. You won't feel a thing. You're gonna be dust." And he does a fat trick. He goes, "You're gonna be a lot of dust. I gotta clean you up. So have an apple, motherfucker."
He was an Italian kid, or what?
Yeah, Sicilian. But again, I like the guy so much, and we talk every once in a while that, like, if something happened to him, it would really suck. And it's that's why you don't want to make friends. But he's a real friend, came back unharmed, and he was in the shit. No, not a spot on. Did 2 tours. And he's got a job, like he was an officer. He's an educated guy who did like tech stuff, high tech stuff.
Yeah.
And he could have stayed in the military, became a career guy. Like I say, he said, "Fuck this." He told me then, 10 years ago, he goes, "We're never getting out of here."
Yeah, it's gonna be for a while.
I don't even know what they're doing. Like, they want us to go over there and do. And again, I'll do anything for those guys, but I don't even know what they're doing over there. These poor guys are in harm's way of what? Like, what is going on?
Right.
They can't tell you either. It was before Bin Laden, this kid, 23-year-old kid in charge of people. Again, like an impressive guy. You could tell. He was in charge of a whole squadron already. And me and DePaulo, we were stuck in an airport for 30 hours. There was a battle going on. Everything was more important than us. They said, get comfortable because toilet paper is going before you. We're okay. We're playing cards. And we said to this kid, I go, "Where's Bin Laden? Do you have any idea?" And he goes, "This is 2008. He goes, "He's within a mile of us." I said, "Well, we're standing. Within 1 mile." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Where? In Pakistan?" Because we're on the Pakistan border. He goes, "Yeah, they're motherfuckers." He said the Pakistanis just did not cooperate on any level. And I go, "Where is he? A house?" Or something? He goes, "He's probably in like a safe house." I go, "That's fucking scary. Within a mile." I said, "Let's go get him." I said, "Come on, let's just go. Come on."
And then they listened, and it worked, right?
I was the one who sent back all the intel.
Artie Lang killed all.
We had to get an Apache helicopter, and they let us shoot out these 2 redneck kids. 20-year-old redneck kids. They had the big gun outside of the helicopter, and they had to fly us with 2 Black Hawks as escorts on the side. And he said to me and Attell, he said, "Do you want to shoot out the?" He goes, "You want to shoot this fucker?"
You got to be kidding.
And I'm like,
That's
"Yeah,
incredible.
if I can, And he goes, "Yeah, this thing had such a kick on it. I felt like such a pussy. This kid was 4'10", and I couldn't hit a mountain." He goes, "Hit that mountain." Couldn't hit a fucking mountain. And then I said, he goes, "There's these little holes that these fucking whole families come out of. Kids." I go, "I don't know, man. I'm not like a war guy. What if I accidentally kill a Taliban kid, like a 10-year-old kid?" He goes, "That's one less fucker I gotta kill." Oh, and then I said, "You would kill a kid?" He goes, "Would you kill Hitler when he was 10? And I did some quick math, and I said, "I guess I would. Yeah. I guess you'd have to." I said, "I'd kill baby Ryan Seacrest if I could." So yeah, that's the type of kids, warriors. You need that mentality. Like, they would shoot anything. If Bush said shoot that, he'd shoot it. His mother, his father, me, Baba Booey.
It's amazing what these kids do. Like
I couldn't hit a mountain.
When I was 21 years old, I had like 25 guys underneath me working on a flight deck of an aircraft carrier, and I look back on.
But this was in the Army or home?
No, that's when I was in. Very good, Bodner.
No, so you were in the first war, the Iraqi war?
No. I was in I was right at the tail end of Vietnam. So I was on USS Forest.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Were you really?
Yeah.
In 75 then?
75. I went in, quit high school, joined the Navy.
No kidding. And you went over to Vietnam?
No. I was on an aircraft carrier. We were North Atlantic, Caribbean, all that stuff.
But so you guarded Barbados?
Boston
that blows my story out of there. But that's, you learned how to be, like
amazing,
you were saying, getting up, the efficiency of shit, that's, everyone should go into the Army for a little while.
I mean, we were talking about our CFO. I asked him once. He took the red eye in from California. We had a meeting that morning, so he came straight to the office, got to work, and I was like, "Dude, are you all right?
Yeah.
Are you able to sleep on the planes?" He goes, "I used to sleep on fucking tanks.
I know.
Standing up."
Can you imagine? I know. It's like
dude,
such work ethic. My grandfather came back from World War II, like destitute. I mean, he died destitute too. He went to school on a GI Bill. And he just was like, he did small time accounting. He did people's taxes for like a broccoli ramen egg sandwich in the neighborhood. And the nicest guy, but he went to school, worked 2 jobs after coming back from the war. You know, it's like if I have to go to the bank and the cleaners in the same day, I need a nap. They're impressive people. Like more, you know. But God bless him.
Who's a better incubator for an employee than the United States military?
No, exactly.
Think about it.
That's right.
And it's free. It's free. You don't pay for that.
You're right.
Not to mention doing something great for the country.
Sometimes you're too good. Like sometimes you got Lee Harvey Oswald. If he was a little less of a shot. But that's what they all said.
You always find the good in him, Marty.
In the book, they said that he was such a good shot. The Marines taught him. Did you ever see a Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that Marine in the
This is
beginning.
my rifle.
The
This
drill
is my
sergeant
gun.
in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that guy's so fucking funny. When he's insulting everybody, but he said, "Lee Harvey Oswald, where did that Marine learn to shoot? 3 shots, 2 headshots, and his man was down. The United States Marine Corps."
That's right.
He was a dark motherfucker. The guy on the top of the Texas school, the University of Texas, that sniper, United States Marine Corps.
That's right.
They don't give a shit. Navy. You ever meet a Navy SEAL?
Yeah, we had a whole division on our ship.
Yeah, I met a couple of those guys. They're intense, man.
We had, when I was stationed in Lakehurst, they used to take them in the middle of February, and they would take about 7 miles out to sea, drop them in the ocean, and they'd swim back to shore.
Right.
And then they'd run from like Seaside Heights.
Yeah, that's the guy who went
to
after you.
Lakehurst. They'd have to run. They'd have to be on a line. They had a mark. They had to be at like 6:30 in the morning.
Do you know that guy made just collecting for a bookie? Like, you know, the guys with the beer guts who can't find you. But they started building the wall. There's trouble at the wall. They're building the wall already.
Yeah.
Trump, and he encountered some really dark shit, and we have a tape of it. This has been all over the news. They're already in fights over building the fucking wall, and the guy that's
construction.
sheriff Trump hired got into an altercation with these workers that weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
Like this was just on. I asked Dana to pull this. It was just on CNN.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here? I had you people try to get a little track lead, not to jump around like a bunch of Kansas City faggots.
Sorry, miss, to tell you that. I guess we kind of got caught up.
Listen, dummy. The surveyors say they may run into some quicksand up ahead. Better check it out.
Okay, I'll send down a team of horses to check out the ground.
Horses? Why, we can't afford to lose no horses, you dummy. Send over a couple of niggers.
Okay, Mr. Taylor. You and you.
Sir, he has specifically requested 2 niggers. But to tell a family secret, my grandmother was Dutch.
Get on that hand car and take it down at the end of that.
You know what movie that is?
Yeah.
What is it? Wait, don't you younger guys don't know? Do you know?
You
know what movie it is?
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles. Boy, they don't write them like that anymore.
I was going to say Shaving Ryan's Privates.
Richard Pryor wrote that. That's why I got away with it. Mel Brooks was the Quentin Tarantino of the 70s. A lot of N-words. But God, that's so fucking fun. Slim Pickens. Kansas City faggot. Not to jump around like a bunch of Kansas City faggots. All right, we'll move on. All right, so we'll plug this and we'll get something going. Anything else you'd like to say? Rich, we
need vets to come to work for us. I'll tell you one of the things that vets don't do, and they need to do it, is they need to post right on the top of the resume that they are ex-military.
Right.
You know
why? Because then you'll keep reading.
Yeah, because what happens is these guys, they put it down on the bottom of the resume.
Well, how do people even send resumes anymore? Is emailing on a computer? They send you the email or something? Yeah. And they don't do that? Why? I would do that, especially nowadays. Absolutely.
They're afraid to identify it. It's one of the things that... I'm on a committee for the state with all this stuff in it.
So they feel there's more negative that could happen.
Yeah.
That sucks alone.
And you know what? You got so many people think like, oh, PTSD, but you got like 10% of the guys that have actually served overseas or in war zones. Right. And you get 250,000 veterans coming out every year out of the military.
I know. Well, some of them have a trauma. Like they could have a really tough assignment. Like they could be in the Caribbean, like yourself. Or...
Yeah, that was tough.
The Caribbean.
I'm telling you what. The Bahamas was rough.
You were in Merv Griffin's team, advanced team. We need a casino here. But no, I didn't know you were military because
Yeah, 4 years Navy.
see, you know how to write a resume. You start off with your last tail end of Vietnam, and you got me going like you're down in the Caribbean. You're there playing blackjack.
Apocalypse now.
Telling people how to spell your last name. I would have bet $1,000.
Bodner.
Bodner. I'm going to go with that. I guarantee, I bet you Danny McGrath says Bodner. I guarantee he doesn't even know.
He doesn't even know my first name.
Where is he right now?
So I'm rubbing his mom's feet.
Oh
or
my
something.
God, that poor woman, the mother. What is she? She's looking at him going, what are you still doing here? 50? Daniel Patrick, you're 50.
Did anybody notice he has an insatiable appetite?
Oh my God! Last night he ate everything. Everything. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, well, you know, that's how you know he's straight.
He had dinner
After 14 days of not eating. Tends to get a little buffet in there. Yeah, he's got to pack on some weight. I think he put on the freshman 80. The police department though, they're fucking him because they gave him a dishonorable, thing.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
No.
That's what happens when they drug test you randomly and you got every drug ever ever invented. He got dishonorable thing, and they, you try to get a job at like the fucking macaroni grill or something, and they the cops like tell the macaroni, no, don't hire him, and of course they don't hire him, so he's having a lot of trouble. I said, go back to the bookie. You were a runner while you were a cop. Right. Even the bookie won't take him. The cops call the bookie and go, asshole. He got the wrong person pissed off. His, you remember his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't get into that story.
She was a joy.
Yeah, her father wasn't exactly, he was a guy. Well, we won't get into it. But Danny deserved that.
Yeah.
Everything I'm saying is libel.
I think that would be defamation of character.
Well, no, no, this is the truth. Yeah, it's odd that John Travolta never sues anybody.
If you said it to me, it'd be libel.
Ow. Yeah, no, he's not doing it right. No, I'm his income. He wants to keep that fucking party going. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. Every once in a while, Danny shows up, and that's how he stays with Mom. But we'll get Dan on this too. By the way, we'll have him appear with the car. We'll have him take a vet to eat. Get a buffet going for Dan after a 52-day binge. Lang, I need to buy dinner. Okay. I need some yucca squash.
That's what I meant to tell you. Speaking of the car, we're running the number 22 in honor of the
Jerry Mumphrey?
22 veterans a day that commit suicide.
That is the most. Yeah. That is the most astonishing. Is that still like the number?
Yes. Yeah, it is. So I had to go to NASCAR and change
insane.
my number, and when they were like, "Well, why do you want to change your number?" And I told them, they were like immediately, they're like, "Yeah, definitely."
Well, listen,
NASCAR was a big fan of the military.
Well, you know who George Bush now has this book of paintings, and you could tell he has insane guilt, man. He paints the guys who he sent there who died, and he does it for their families. And it's almost like when you see him interviewed, he's trying to convince himself that it was all right. He goes, "Yeah, a lot of people say their families say he died in an honorable way," and it's I feel bad for the guy. It's got to be terrible, but
he seems so genuine though.
No, he is. He is. That's the thing. He's not a bullshitter with it. And some guys you can see the line through the teeth, but you can tell he's really struggling with it, and that's hard. That's fucking hard. Because if you wake up one day and you got that warrior mentality, because his old man, he was the shit. The guy was in the Air Force, and head of the CIA, vice president, president. If anybody knows where the bodies are buried, it's Bush Senior. And it just sucks to see him struggling in a wheelchair. But I think 22 a day, man. To think of those guys in despair, like and there's no one around, that's to stop them. It's fucking awful.
I mean, look, right now you got 13,000 unemployed veterans in New Jersey,
right.
And then you got almost 3,000 homeless.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, because you imagine homeless vet guy, and these guys can't get the fucking these hospitals. Did you see the videotape of the two older vets that were literally waiting for care, and the one guy passes out? He's lying on the floor. The vet hospital have nurses walking over the fucking guy. Yeah. I mean, it's in South Carolina. That makes you. It's so infuriating. And pick the fucking guy up. So there's definitely, this is a charity, man, that needs money. It's a legit thing, and if it goes to the right place, you can't beat it. So I'm there, man. You gotta have somebody there. You gotta have somebody there to go. You don't have to fucking shoot yourself.
Right.
Just have someone there for the guy. You know. Yeah. Or lady. You know, 22. I heard that went up recently too. I think it was like 20 for a while.
Yeah.
That number's going up.
You know what it was? They did this they done like a background evaluation of all of it, and they found that the numbers were skewed. It was still 22 all along. They thought it had dropped off, but it actually did.
And the government will do shit like that. They'll try to bullshit you. That's an insane. Think about that.
That's crazy.
22. Forget about it. Well, I think the only other number close to that are ex-New York Mets. It's like 18. I think.
Oh God.
I know two guys who tried to kill themselves. That I was there when I met that kid I talked about in Brooklyn. Two of his buddies in the Marines tried within 2 days of leaving the Army. They went home and both tried to hang themselves. Thank God someone was there. Both, by the way, it's a happy story, are doing great. But because someone was there. Like some of these guys, it's a split decision. You just got to, why are they alone if they're like that? Right. It just makes you sick.
I mean, look, that's one of the things that the USO's got this big program now called Transition 360, and they're trying to help these guys come out and transition back into their home life, come back, find jobs.
Hard to do, man.
Yeah, it is.
That American Sniper guy, the saddest story ever. The fact that a guy kills him. But you don't do that. You don't go through that where you almost kill a kid because you think he's going to blow somebody up and then come back and work at the deli. I mean, it just doesn't happen. You got to have a big re-entry. And that costs money. And, with those things they waste fucking money on. You know, putting a third bathroom at a Panther game because the guy feels like a broad one day. That's what I'm going to do. I got to take a piss. I feel like a broad. Can I piss next to your 4-year-old daughter? See how long that fucking lasts. They're putting extra. Think of the money, the waste. They would put an extra bathroom in at a Carolina Panthers game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of money. Yeah. and the fucking vets are dying. It makes a lot of sense.
It's worse than building a wall.
Well, absolutely. Way worse. Unless, you need some drugs. But anyway, there's going to be a little door for the good people. Trump should just get on that, man. He should do high-profile shit like that Indianapolis plant. He should just save jobs and get, just announce it from the mountaintops. Like, fuck my tax returns. I built the fucking wall. I saved jobs. What could they say? Except they say something. I watch CNN for material sometimes. Chris Cuomo answers his own questions. Sometimes he doesn't even do an interview. It makes you so mad. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and he answers his own questions. Get a fucking job. You join the military. I'd like to see him on the front fucking lines.
No.
Him and Geraldo. Geraldo Rivera. All right, guys. Salud, Chindan, Broccoli Rob. We'll read the plugs, and we'll talk whatever you want to do. April, right?
April.
We'll figure out
New York Auto Show. Come by and see the Momentum Solar Race Car.
Yeah, we'll get all the proper plugs. We'll just nail it right at the end here.
Thanks, Artie.
And pick a day. Arthur, listen, man. Congrats on everything. On a great life. You got a long one ahead of you, and it's you're doing good things. It's cool. Seriously, it's nice to meet you. It's a great story. Nice to meet you, my friend. What's your name? I'm sorry. John. And you're the COO, I heard. Yes. Oh, okay. All the big wigs. And you are rich, Bob?
Thank you. Bob.